Hey, Canucks fans, is the Canucks prospect pool as weak as everyone says it is? I'm Canuck Clay. This is my Canucks take all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Friday, September the 16th. If you're new, here's what you should do. Hit the subscribe button now for daily Canucks insight that's positive, timely, and trustworthy. First and foremost, happy birthday to my son, Jacob. His 19th birthday. He is legal here in Canada. And yes, a heck of a year it was for him. 3 perfect bowling games, representing Team Canada in Sweden and getting involved with the Archdiocese, getting involved with school and clubs, his own schooling, of course, and then doing a lot of work with Sean with Miso Media. So all in all, great year for Jacob, highlighted, I think, by his bowling accomplishments. So once again, happy birthday, Jake. I don't think Jake even watches these videos, so I should just really call him. Well, I saw him this morning, so I think that counts. And then we're going to do something for him tonight, as I talked about on my live stream. Speaking of my live stream, thanks to everyone who joined me last night. And whether you're watching the streams or listening on the podcast platform, I appreciate it, and I do not take you for granted. Young Stars starts today. The Young Stars Classic. All the Canucks players started to arrive yesterday. We were practicing yesterday, and they have their game against Calgary. They have Calgary tonight, and then they have Winnipeg and Edmonton on Sunday and Monday. I might have got that mixed up, but regardless, they're going to play each of the 3 teams. They go Friday, Sunday, Monday. And for tonight, the top 2 lines look good. Some combination of Linus Karlsson, Arshdeep Bains, Neil Zaman, Danila Klimovic. Those are really the 4 names that I'm really interested in up front. Defense, not a lot of real recognizable names there. Not even a lot of guys with a lot of, you could say, NHL potential for sure. And then Archer Seelovs in goal. The one guy I am looking forward to seeing, and not necessarily just at the Young Stars Classic, but going forward, is indeed Linus Karlsson. Talked about this before on my channel, how it all started with Alex Burrows getting traded to Ottawa for Jonathan Dahlen. Jonathan Dahlen, we thought he was going to be really good. I had visions of him and Pettersson playing well together because I think they played together before. Then, of course, Dahlen gets a slow start, doesn't really hit it off, I'd say, with Canucks management, especially those in Utica. And then before we know it, he's traded to San Jose for Linus Karlsson, who we know nothing about, aside from sharing a name with Erik Karlsson, a last name. Don't think they're related. But then Karlsson goes up and has an amazing season in the Swedish Hockey League last year. Now, to the point where he might actually make the Canucks lineup. I wouldn't say this season, but certainly he could be the first call-up from Abbotsford in the forwards. And then maybe he's got a legitimate shot to make this team next season. So it got me thinking, and there's been a lot of talk about how a lot of the guys at the Young Stars Classic for the Canucks aren't really young, nor are they stars. In fact, there's 6 22-year-olds, a 23-year-old, and a 24-year-old, so they're not really young. And you could argue that some of our best prospects won't be there, i.e. the Jonathan Likaramakis and the Elias Pettersson that we drafted this year, and of course, Jack Rathbone, who is saving himself for the main camp. So it got me to thinking, not only who are the best Canucks prospects, but collectively, is the prospect pool for the Vancouver Canucks as weak or as shallow as many people have said? And a lot of critics say that it simply isn't that strong. I think that it was just really strong in 2018, after we had just drafted Quinn Hughes and Jet Wu in 2018. And then 2017, it was 5 guys that had a lot of promise at the time. Pettersson, Lind, Gadjevich, DiPietro, and Rathbone were all drafted in 2017. Now, it might be only Rathbone and Pettersson that end up being Canucks. Lind's gone, Gadjevich is gone, and DiPietro's almost as good as gone. But that still is 5 decent prospects coming out of one draft. So when they had those 5, and then they had Hughes and Wu, and even Yolevi at the time, we weren't sure what he was going to be. I think the Canucks prospect pool looked a lot stronger. That was 4 years ago. But then, of course, Pettersson and Hughes and even start to make their way up to the big club. Jet Wu is being stuck on the farm. Lind and Gadjevich are gone. DiPietro's likely to get traded. Rathbone's likely going to make the team. So that's still pretty good. For any draft, you want one guy for sure to hit, but if you get 2 guys, that's even better. So 2017, it could be Rathbone and Pettersson, of course. But then 2019, Podkolzin. So that's decent. That's a good pick, and I think he's going to be good. But then in 2020, we didn't pick until the 3rd round, and that was the underwhelming Joni Jormo, the defenseman from Finland. And then in 2021, it was even worse. We didn't have a first rounder or a third rounder or a fourth rounder. First rounder, of course, traded for in that package to Arizona that brought over Garland and Ekman-Larsson. So yes, we did draft with our in 2021 Danila Klimovic, but then we didn't have a pick in the third or fourth round. So really, our top two picks in 2020 and 2021 were Yorni Yormo and Danila Klimovic. Not the most exciting needle-moving prospects for sure. And then you could argue that the Canucks got back on track with you could say a pretty strong draft this year, at least at the top, with Lekkerimaki. Finally, we had our first-round pick for the first time in 3 years, and then with Elias Pettersson, the defenseman, in the second round. So perhaps we are slowly building up that prospect pool once again. So when you hear all of that, Canucks fans, when you go through our drafts of the past 6 seasons from 2017 to 2022, do you think that the prospect pool is indeed weak? Or do you think it's not as bad as some say? And if you think that it's weak, then you're probably pointing to the fact that with Pettersson, Hughes, and Rathbone, if you don't consider them prospects anymore, then really you're left with guys, and we didn't have high picks in 2020 and 2021. You might say, you know, as good as they are, a prospect pool of Lekkerimaki, Elias Pettersson, Aidan McDonough, Danilo Klimovic, you might say that doesn't really excite you that much. Or if you're saying that maybe it's not as bad as people say, then you're putting a lot of stock in Lekkerimaki, in Elias Pettersson, in Aidan McDonough, the big winger from the NCAA that we want to, in maybe Artur Silovs, who might still turn out to be a good goalie, in Klimovic and his offensive ability. There's Jacob Truscott, the defenseman, and then some others as well. So maybe, just maybe, you might be of that ilk. For me, I can't sit here and say that I'm excited about our prospect pool, but I am a lot more excited now in September than I was back in June because of guys like Lekkerimaki. I can't wait to see what he does, actually, because he brings a really neat skill set of being a pure sniper, and we need more of that for sure. I'm excited about this other tier of what do you call them, prospects, the 22-year-olds, 21-year-olds, the Carlsons, the Arshdeep Bains, the Neil Zamans, those type of guys that will provide depth and might be call-ups, first or second call-up material over the next couple of seasons. I'm relatively excited about them, and I'm really excited about Jack Rathbone. You guys know how much I like Rathbone, but I still I wouldn't consider him a prospect anymore, especially if he makes the team this year. So to answer my own question, I don't think the Canucks prospect pool is as bad as some people say, but that's only because of how they did in this year's draft, at least with Lekkerimaki, with Pettersson, and with some other players. So I don't think it's horrible, but I think it could be a lot better. That's for sure. And that's, you know, you can't get much more of a sit on the fence answer than that. But to answer my own question, no, it's not as weak as people say, but it's close. How's that for a diplomatic answer? Canucks fans, let me know what you think about this our prospect pool, and let me know what you're expecting from Young Stars Classic, if anything. Shout out to my sponsors, Perform and Transform, Personal Training, Weight Loss, and Advanced City Experts Real Estate Group. Advanced City Experts Real Estate now. Thanks to legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Justin Credible, legendary Andrew Chang, and Hall of Fame members and franchise members as well. And thanks to all of you for watching and supporting me on this channel. Subscribe if you'd like to. Like this video if you'd like to. Become a member or upgrade your membership if you'd like to. Leave a thanks, a super tip, or no, a super thanks or a tip if you'd like to. And definitely leave a comment down below if you'd like to. What do you think of the Canucks prospect pool? And are you interested at all in the Young Stars Classic? You made it this far in the video, 9 minutes in. It's Jacob's birthday, so how about simple? Happy birthday, Jacob. Put that in the comments. I'll show it to him. I'll make him read it, make him watch this video, and then I know that you made it to the end of this video. Either that or you just copied everyone else. Stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. No live stream tonight or tomorrow. Back at it on Sunday. God bless, and go Canucks go.